Hello everyone. So today we'll be discussing on conversion of units. It's a very simple chapter. In fact, we'll be given some type of units and we'll be asked to convert into some another. We use this conversion of units in our day-to-day lives. Suppose some of your friend calls you up and he says that he's 1 kilometer away from your home and it will take exactly 10 minutes for him to reach you. So after 5 minutes, you will understand that he is 500 meters from your home. So basically what you have done, you have converted the 1 kilometer before 10 minutes to 500 minutes after 5 minutes. So after 5 minutes, he would have been half kilometer. So half kilometer is converted into 500 meters. Another example you can take is suppose your mother sends you to a grocery store and she says that get half kg sugar. So you go to the grocery person and say, don't give me half kg sugar. What he does, he takes 500 grams mass, weighs the sugar and gives you. So half kg has been converted into 500 grams. So this is how in our day-to-day life, we use this conversion of units. It's a very simple chapter, some concepts you understand and we'll be done with it. So let's get started. So the first thing which we'll be discussing is converting between units of length. So we'll be given 1 unit of length and we will be asked to convert into some another one. So for example, we are given meters and we'll be asked to convert into either centimeters or kilometers or some other units. So before we begin, it's very important to understand this particular table. So this is depending on the power of 10 which a particular unit has, we have a specific prefix and the symbol which we use to represent this prefix. Say when we say the unit is say millimeter. So what we mean by millimeter is, suppose I have 1 millimeter. 1 millimeter is nothing but 10 power minus 3 meter. So when I have this prefix as milli, so this prefix milli can be replaced with 10 power minus 3. So likewise, say here it's given, this is the general unit, that is 1. And if I have the prefix as milli, then I have the power as minus, the power of 10 as minus 3. Okay. So suppose if I have centi, no, instead of millimeter, suppose I have 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter is nothing but 10 power minus 2 meter. Because if we use the prefix centi, the power of 10 which we'll have to use will be minus 2. Okay. And the symbol is C, that is small c. Okay. So likewise, we have, no, this is the general unit. So if the prefix is deci, then it is 10 power minus 1. If it is centimeter, all of you might have seen in your home, you have a meter scale. So 1 meter scale, suppose this is 1 meter. So this 1 meter scale has 100 divisions of 1 centimeter each. So that means my 1 meter scale is equal to 100 centimeter. If 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeter, how many meters will be 1 centimeter? That will be 10 power minus 2 meter. How we'll get it? We'll see as we go ahead. So likewise, for centi, if the prefix is centi, we have 10 power minus 2. Similarly, if the prefix is micro, if we write micrometer, it is represented by mu. So 1 micrometer is equal to 10 power minus 6 meters. So when we have the prefix as micro, then we can replace that micro with 10 power minus 6. So similarly, we have nano and pico. Pico is for 10 power minus 12. So these are the values which are less than 1. Now, if we go on the other side, that is greater than 1, if we have hecto as the prefix, that is 1 hectometer, so then it will be 10 power 2 meters. 10 power 2 meters is 1 hectometer. Okay. So of course, this is not written as hecto like this, but it is written as HM. So this you can write as 1 HM, small h and m. So this is 1 hectometer. So likewise, if we have 1 kilo, 1 kilo will have 10 power 3 as the prefix. So that is 1 kg or 1 kilometer is equal to 10 power 3 meters. So likewise, we have mega, giga, and tera. Now, in fact, you can remember this. Now you have your computer memory. No, kilobytes, megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes. So this way you can easily remember this part. And this is the unit for one. And down we know centi, milli, micro, nano, and pico. So that's how we have corresponding symbols. For tera, we have capital T. For giga, we have capital G. For mega, no, just like you have megabytes is written as like this. So that is capital M. Gigabytes is written like this, GB. And terabytes is TB. So tera is T, giga is G, and mega is M. And if we have kilo, that is small k. So this is small k. Of course, here we are discussing about length. So we'll be discussing kilometers. And hecto is written as small h, and deci is small d. Similarly, centi, milli, micro is mu, nano is n, and pico is p. So if we understand this table, of course, I would suggest you to remember this as much as possible, this prefixes. If we know for what prefix, what power of 10 we'll have to use, if this is clear for us, then the whole chapter is like a cakewalk. It will be very simple for us. Okay, the only thing is we have to understand this and how conversion has to be done. That we'll see as we go ahead. Fine. So let's start with a simple problem. So here he says the circumference of the earth is approximately 40075 kilometers. Change this circumference of earth into millimeters. So basically what he's asking us is to convert kilometers to millimeters. So he has given 40075 kilometers is the circumference of the earth. Circumference, all of us know, if we have a circle, the circumference is 2 pi r. So of course, we need not find the circumference. He has already given us the circumference as 40075 kilometers. Now this we have to change into millimeters. So it's simple. First, let's change kilometers to meters. See, whenever we have to change kilometers to millimeters, if you go back to the previous table, kilo is above the unit. This is 1. Kilo is above and milli is below. So whenever you have to change the below one to above one, I would suggest you first change the particular unit to the one, the unit, and then from here you go to the kilo. I'll explain with the help of this question. So here we have kilometer, we have to convert to millimeter. So first of all, you convert the kilometer to meter, and then you convert the meter to millimeter. Fine. So this way, if we approach the problem, will be very simple and there will be no confusion. Because many times students get confused whether I should divide or multiply or what we should do. Okay. So 1 kilometer, first of all, we have to convert into meter. So we know 1 kilometer, when the prefix is kilo, we will have 10 power 3 meters. Okay. So 1 kilometer is 10 power 3 meters. And we know 1 meter is equal to 10 power 3 millimeters. How is it? Because we have seen that 1 millimeter is equal to 10 power minus 3 meters. Yes. So when I have the prefix as milli, 1 millimeter is 10 power minus 3 meters. Here we had 1 kilometer as 10 power 3 meters. Okay. So 1 millimeter is 10 power minus 3 meters. So 1 meter will have how many millimeters? So let it be x. Let me assume it as x. So it will be 1 by x millimeters is equal to 10 power minus 3 by 1. If you find x, it will be, this will go here, this will go on the other side, this will be 10 power 3. So basically my 1 meter will have 10 power 3 millimeters. So this is the relation which I get. So 1 kilometer has 10 power 3 meters, 1 meter has 10 power 3 millimeters. So if I have to convert this into millimeters, this will have 10 power 3 multiplied with 10 power 3 millimeters. So that basically means 1 kilometer has 10 power 6 millimeters. Simple. So we have converted 1 kilometer into millimeters. Now we have to convert 40075 kilometers is equal to how many millimeters? So again, let it be x. You can take x, y, whatever, some variable. So this will be 1 by 4. This will be 1 by 40075 is equal to 10 power 6 by x. So if I find out x, this will be x goes here, this term goes here. This will be 40075 into 10 power 6 or 4.0075 into 10 power 10. What are the units? Millimeters. Okay, so this is my final answer. Okay, so that's what we have done is instead of converting directly kilometers to millimeters, this is also possible. You can directly convert kilometers to millimeters also, but sometimes if we are doing for the first time, it may be a little confusing. So that's why I would recommend that first you convert the kilometers to meters and then you convert the meters to millimeters. And that's how we have done. First, we have converted the kilometers to meters. 1 kilometer is 10 power 3 meters because we have kilo as the prefix. So we have 10 power 3. And we also know that 1 millimeter is equal to 10 power minus 3 meters. So based on that, we got 1 meter will have 10 power 3 millimeters. Okay, so that's how we got 1 kilometer as 10 power 6 millimeters. This condition we have got. So 1 kilometer has so and so many millimeters. 40075 kilometers will have how many? So just use the same thing and then we get it is 4.0075 into 10 power 10 millimeters. Fine. So now let's do this question. It says the tallest human is in recorded history was 8 feet 11 inch tall. Convert this height to meters. Okay. So the height of the tallest person he has given. So height is equal to 8 feet 11 inch. Okay. So convert this height to meters. So this we have to convert into meters. So 1 foot is equal to 12 inches and 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So basically he has given the conversion which we have to use to convert this particular height to meters. So first of all, because we know that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeter. So let's convert this given height in terms of inches. So 8 feet 11 inch is nothing but 8 multiplied with 12. 8 feet has, okay, 1 foot has 12 inches. So 8 foot will have 12 multiplied, 8 multiplied with 12 inches plus 11. So these many inches is the height of that particular person. So 7 8s is 96 plus 11. So this will give me 107 inches. Okay. So the height of that person is 107 inches. So what we have done is we have converted the given height, which is in feet and inch. We have converted that to inches. So now let's convert this inch to centimeter. We know that 1 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeters. So 107 inch will be how much? So again, let's take it as x. So just divide 1 by 107 is equal to 2.54 by x. So whenever we have such question, you just divide 1 inch by 107 inch is equal to 2.54 centimeter by x centimeter. Here my x is in terms of centimeter. So now if I want to find out x, this is x is equal to 2.54 multiplied with 107. So if I calculate this, I'll be getting it as, okay, let me use my calculator to do it. This is 2.54 multiplied with 10, wait, yeah, 2.54 multiplied with 107 So this we get as 271.78. So what are the units again? This units is centimeters. So the height of that person is 271.78 centimeters. But he wants us to convert into meters. He doesn't want in centimeters. Again, the same thing. We know 1 centimeter is equal to 10 power minus 2 meters. No, because 1 centimeter, yeah, because we have the prefix as centi. So 10 power minus 2 over here. So 1 centimeter is these many meters. So 271.78 centimeters will be how much? Either you can take x or you can directly do it. It will be 271.78 multiplied with minus 2. These many meters will be getting as the height of that person. If we convert it in a standard form, so this will be 2.7178 multiplied with 10 power, yeah, so this is 10 power 2 multiplied with 10 power minus 2 meters. So this and this will go off. So if I take say to 1 decimal place, this will be 2 point. Okay, let me take 2 decimal places to 2.72 meters. So this is the height of that person in meters. Fine. So what we have done is whatever height was given, it was in feet and inch. So that height, which was in feet and inch, we have converted into inches. Now 8 feet and 11 inch was converted into 107 inches. And we know that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeter. So 107 inch we have converted into centimeters. So we got 271.78 centimeters. And then we know that 1 centi, because the prefix is centi, we have 10 power minus 2 meters. Then we converted 271.78 centimeters into meters by multiplying with 10 power minus 2. And when we converted into standard form, we got 10 power 2 over here. Both of them got cancelled. And we are left with 2.72 meters as the height of the person. So this was a conversion of length. Yes. So we were given length in either feet or some others, maybe meters or centimeters. On the previous problem, it was in kilometers. And then we were asked to convert in some other form. So this is the simple method which we can use and try to convert the units in length. So let's go to the next one. So next we'll be seeing conversion of units of area. So let's start with a simple question. While we are solving this question, the concept will be automatically clear for us. So a rectangle measures 1 meter by 2 meters. Find the area in millimeters square. So he has given from the figure, we can see that the length of the rectangle L is equal to 2 meters and breadth B is equal to 1 meter. So what will be area? Area is equal to L multiplied with B, which will be 2 multiplied with 1 is equal to 2 meters square. So area we have got in meter square, but what he wants us is to convert the area into millimeter square. So basically 2 meter square we have to convert into millimeter square. It's again very simple. So this 2 meter square I can write as meter multiplied with meter. Yes, of course, this is one way. I'll tell another way also of doing it. So this 2 meter square, because this is meter square, I'm writing it as meter multiplied with meter. So this is 2. We know that, okay, let's again recap. 1 millimeter is equal to 10 power minus 3 meters. Okay, because we have prefix as milli. So that's why 10 power minus 3. So 1 meter will be how much? It will be 10 power 3 millimeters. Yes, as we have done in the previous problem also, you can either take x and then divide this by x and this by x, and then you will get it. Otherwise, you can write directly like this also. So 1 meter is 10 power 3 millimeters. So this meter is nothing but 10 power 3 millimeters multiplied with 10 power 3 millimeters. So this will give us 2 multiplied with 10 power 6 millimeter square. It's simple. So basically we have found out the area, and then we have converted the meters into millimeters, and then that's how we got meter square into millimeter square. So this is one way of approach. Otherwise, here itself, in the beginning itself, you can convert the meters into millimeters. So this 1 meter can be also written as 1000 millimeters from here. 1 meter is equal to 10 power 3 millimeters, which is 1000 millimeters. And 2 meters is nothing but 2000 millimeters. So, okay, this is, or I can write the area as 1000 millimeters multiplied with 2000 millimeters. So this will be nothing but 2 multiplied with 10 power 6 millimeters square. So either of the ways we can do. Either we can initially itself convert the meters into millimeters and then proceed, or otherwise we can find out the area in meter square and then we can convert the meter square into millimeter square. Whatever is convenient, we can use that. Okay. So this is how we convert area from one unit to another. The length, which we have seen in the previous problem, was one dimension. We know that length is just one dimensional. But when it comes to area, see, length is like this, a straight line, what we measure. But area is two dimensional. So it has this length multiplied with this length. So that's how when we find area, we'll get meter square or millimeter square. So because it is two dimensional, we'll get square, because we are multiplying area with we are multiplying length with length. So this length, when it gets multiplied with length, it becomes length square. So that's how we get this square over. Let's see the next question. A single tennis court is a rectangle 78 feet long by 27 feet wide. Find the area in meter square. Again, he has given the conversion from foot to inch and inch to centimeters. So basically, what he's saying is, okay, let's draw. Okay, this is my tennis court. Fine. Of course, it's not looking exactly like a rectangle, but manage it. So this is 78 feet and this is 27 feet. This is the dimension, 78 feet long and 27 feet wide. Find the area in meter square. So my area will be 78 multiplied with 27 feet square. So first of all, I'm calculating the area in feet square. Now this feet square, I have to convert to meter square. Or otherwise, as I mentioned, here itself, you can convert 78 feet into the so many meters, and then you can multiply and get in meter square. Either is fine. So I'm doing this way. So I'm getting this 78 multiplied with 27 feet square, which has to be converted into a meter square. So let me again rewrite it as 78 multiplied with 27 feet multiplied with feet. Okay. So 78 multiplied with 27. We know 1 feet is equal to 12 inches. So let's write it 12 inch multiplied with 12 inch. Okay. So then 78 multiplied with 27. This is 12 square and this is inch multiplied with inch. Okay, let me write that. Inch. Fine. So let's do this calculation with the help of calculator. So what we will have is 78 multiplied with 27 multiplied with 144, that is 12 square. So we have a very big number, 03264 inch multiplied with inch. So now this inch we can convert it into centimeters. So this will be 303,264. 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. So this is 2.54 centimeter, 2.54 centimeter. Okay. So let's again multiply it. So this gets multiplied with 2.54 and then it gets multiplied with 2.54. So I will get 1956538.02. My God, centimeters multiplied with centimeters. Oof. And then centimeters we have to convert into meters because we need the final area in terms of meters. So this will be okay. Let me round it off to okay. Let's round off in the end. 56538.02. We know that 1 centimeter is equal to 10 power minus 2 meters. Okay. So again, centi is the prefix 10 power minus 2. Or otherwise, you can also understand it in this way that 1 meter scale has 100 centimeters. So 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So either of them you can use. So 1 centimeter is 10 power minus 2 meters. So this I can write as 10 power minus 2 meters multiplied with 10 power minus 2 meters. So, yeah. Okay, so here I'll have 10 power minus 4. If it gets multiplied with this, it will be 1956538.02. Because here I'll have 10 power minus 2 and 10 power minus 2. From here I will have to move. Okay, so this will be 10 power minus 4. So I'll have to move 4 decimal places over here. So I'll get my decimal point over here. These many meters square. So because I'll have meter multiplied with meter, so this will be meters square. So to to make it a little more decent, we can round it off and write it as say 196 meters square. Okay, because tennis courts you don't need so many decimal precision. So that's why we can just approximately write it as 196 meters square. So as I mentioned, you can either solve this question in this way, or you can convert this 27 feet into meters here itself. So this will be 27 multiplied with 12. So these many inches multiplied with 2.54. These many centimeters multiplied with 2 power 10 power minus 2. So these many meters is the width, and again here 78 multiplied with 12 multiplied with 2.54 multiplied with 10 power minus 2. So these many meters multiplied with these many meters will give me the area in meters square. So either of the way we can proceed this question. So this was about converting the units of area. So let's go ahead discussing the conversion of units of volume. So again, as I mentioned, when we were discussing conversion of unit of length, it was just one dimensional. When we came to area, it became two dimensional. So length was just one straight line. When we came to area, it was like a square or rectangle. So it has two dimension. In fact, we have circle. So that is again two dimension. But when we talk about volume, it becomes three dimensional. So either we'll have a cube or a cuboid or a cylinder or something like that. Okay, so that's about conversion of unit of areas. So let's again try to understand with the help of a simple question. So cuboid measures 1 meter by 2 meter by 3 meters. Find the volume in millimeters square. So let's draw it. We have a cuboid. Okay, I hope I'll be able to draw it properly. Yeah, I hope this looks like a cuboid. Yes, at least to some extent. So this is my 1 meter. This is 1 meter. This is 2 meter, and this is 3 meter. So this is the measurement of the cuboid. So we need the volume of this cuboid in millimeters cube. Again, the same thing. Either we can get the volume in meter cube and then convert it into millimeter cube, or we can find the side in millimeters and then we can find the volume in millimeters. So let's do the second way this time. So this height is 1 meter. So 1 meter I can write as 10 power 3 millimeter. So because I know that 1 millimeter is equal to 10 power minus 3 meters. When I have milli as the prefix, I will have 10 power minus 3. So 1 millimeter is equal to 10 power minus 3 meter. So 1 meter will have how many millimeters? So again, let us take it as x. So this will be x millimeters. So 1 by x is equal to 10 power minus 3 by 1. So this will give us x is equal to 10 power 3. So that basically means 1 meter is equal to 10 power 3 millimeter. So 1 meter is equal to 10 power 3 millimeter. Similarly, here we will have 3 meters is equal to 3 multiplied with 10 power 3 millimeter. And here 2 meters is equal to 2 multiplied with 10 power 3 millimeter. So the volume will be length multiplied with breadth multiplied with height. So this will be, okay, what is my, okay, let us take this as length, this as width, and this as height. So my length is 3 multiplied with 10 power 3 millimeters multiplied with breadth or width is 2 multiplied with 10 power 3 millimeters, and the height is 1 10 power 3 millimeters. Okay. So this will give me 6. This is 3, 10 power 3, 10 power 3 multiplied with 10 power 9 millimeter cube. So this is the way we do it. So basically, initially itself, we have converted this meters into millimeters, and then we have multiplied them to get the volume. Again, you can do either in this way or get the volume in meter cube and then convert into millimeter. Either of the way is fine. Okay, so next he says change 10 power 7 centimeter cube to meter cube. Okay, so we have a cube which is 1 meter height. 1 meter is, okay, this 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter, 1 meter width and 1 meter height. So this is basically 1 meter cube. This is a cubic. This is a cube of volume as 1 meter cube. Fine. So we know if volume is 1 meter cube, if I have to convert that particular volume into centimeters, I can also write it as 100 centimeter multiplied with 100 centimeter multiplied with 100 centimeter. So this will be 100 multiplied with 100 multiplied with 100, and units will be centimeter cube. So this is 10 power 6 because we have this is 100, this is 100, this is 100. So 2 zeros, 2 zeros, 2 zeros, 6 zeros centimeter cube. So basically what I have got is 1 meter cube is equal to 10 power 6 centimeter cube. So now he's asking 10 power 7 centimeter cube will have how many meters cube? So we have to change this 10 power 7 centimeter cube into meter cube. So again, let's take it as x meter cube. So I have 1 meter cube by x meter cube is equal to 10 power 6 centimeter cube by 10 power 7 centimeter cube. So if I cross multiply, I will get 10 power 7 by 10 power 6 is equal to x. So this will be 10 power 7 minus 6 is equal to 10. So basically 10 power 7 centimeter cube is equal to 10 meter cube. So this is the thing which I have got. So basically what we have done is we have converted 1 meter cube in terms of centimeter cube. So we got 1 meter cube as 10 power 6 centimeter cube, and we wanted to change 10 power 7 centimeter cube to meter cube. So we have taken it as say x meter cube, So this x is what we need to find out. So we have done 1 meter cube by x meter cube is equal to 10 power 6 by 10 power 7. So we cross multiplied and we got the value of x as 10. So that means 10 power 7 centimeter cube is equal to 10 meter cube. Okay. So let's go ahead and solve this question. The volume of crude oil that can be carried on the super tanker Knock Nevis is 6.5 multiplied with 10 power 5 meter cube. How many liters is this? Okay. So this is an important conversion which we should know. That is 1 centimeter cube is equal to 1 milliliter. So if you take a cube of 1 centimeter cube, so this is just approximate cube. So if this is 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, so this will be same as 1 milliliter. Okay, so this conversion is very important. Please try to remember this, that 1 centimeter cube is equal to 1 milliliter. You can use the same conversion to convert meter cube to liters. Say, I know that 1 centimeter cube, if I write it as 1 centimeter multiplied with centimeter multiplied with centimeter. So now let me convert this centimeter to meter because I have prefix centi. So what will be? I'll be getting 1 10 power minus 2 meters, 10 power minus 2 meters, 10 power minus 2 meters. Okay. So this is nothing but 10 power minus 6 meter cube. Okay. So that basically means 1 milliliter is equal to 10 power minus 6 meter cube. But we know because I have the prefix as milli, if I want to convert this milliliter into liter, so this will be 10 power minus 3 liters is equal to 10 power minus 6 meter cube. Okay, so basically I can write, if I take this 10 power 3 over here, I will have 1 liter will be 10 power minus 6 by 10 power minus 3 meter cube or 10 power minus 3 meter cube. So if you take this 10 power 3 on the other side, you can in fact write 10 power 3 liters is equal to 1 meter cube. So either you can remember this or you can remember this relation. So basically we are converting centimeter cube into milliliters, or we are converting meter cube into liters. So he has asked to convert 6.5 multiplied with 10 power 5 meter cube into liters. So we know that 1 meter cube is equal to 10 power 3 liters. So 6.5 10 power 5 meter cube will be how many liters? So again, you can directly multiply it or take it as x and do it. So basically we will be getting, okay, let's take it as x. So this will be 1 by 6.5 into 10 power 5 is equal to 10 power 3 by x. From here we will get 6.5 multiplied with 10 power 8, this many liters, because my x is liters. So this is my x, and the capacity or the volume of crude oil which this particular super tanker can hold will be 6.5 multiplied with 10 power 8 liters. Okay, so again this relation is very important. 1 centimeter cube is equal to 1 milliliter. And if we convert that in liters, so we'll have 10 power 3 liters is equal to 1 meter cube. Okay, so let's go ahead. So till now we have discussed the conversion of unit of length and then area and then volume. So again, length was one dimensional and area was two dimensional. That's why we were getting meter square or centimeter square or millimeter square. and volume was three-dimensional. That's why we were getting meter cube or centimeter cube or millimeter cube or like that. And in the end, we saw the conversion of milliliters to centimeter cube or centimeter cube to milliliters and meter cube to liters. So now going forward, we'll be having compound measures. So where we'll be discussing some units which are basically made up of more than one unit. Okay, so the three things which we'll be focusing on this part is speed and density and pressure. So we'll see exactly what the speed, density and pressure is. So compound measures are made up of two or more different measurements, and generally we use it as a rate change. Yes, say take a simple example. Suppose you are going for a movie. The movie is going to start in say in 1 hour, and the nearest movie theater or the cinema theater is around 20 kilometers from your place, right? You are staying in some outskirts, and the nearest place, the movie theater is 20 kilometers, and you have 1 hour to reach it. So what is the speed with which you will have to travel? The speed will be nothing but the total distance which you need to cover divided by the total time you have. So if you travel by 20 kilometer per hour speed, then you will be able to reach the cinema theater. But I'm sure you would like to travel a little more fast so that you can reach at least 10 minutes before the movie starts. Okay, so that's how we have these three units. The speed basically is nothing but distance by time. So the distance which you traveled divided by the time which you took to travel the distance. So that gives us the speed. Similarly, we have density. Density is nothing but mass by volume. Suppose I have say a cube. Now it has some dimensions. Say L. Say this is my length, this is my width, and this is my height. So this has some volume, which is L multiplied with B multiplied with H. So if I take a unit cube out of this big cube, if I take 1 unit cube means basically 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter. If I take such cube, what will be the mass of that cube? So that's what is density. So density is the total mass divided by volume. So that will give me basically the mass of this unit cube. So this is generally, usually we measure it as kg per meter cube or gram per centimeter cube. So when we are taking the mass in grams, generally we take in centimeter cube. And when we are taking the mass in kg, then we take in meter cube. And when it comes to speed, generally we have measure speed in meters per second or kilometers per hour. And the next one is pressure. So in case of pressure, pressure is nothing but force divided by area. Yes. So suppose you have some small area. Okay, let me take this example. Now I have a pen in my hand. If I put some force on my hand with the help of this pen, it pains. Yes. But if I put the same force with my finger, it won't pain so much. Why is it so? Because the area of this finger which is in contact with my hand is more. So that's why the pressure which is applied by this finger is less as compared to this pen. So this pen has small area. Yes, the pen tip is very small. So when this tip presses this finger, the hand, the lot of force, say F force, is applied in this small area. So that pressure is nothing but force by area. So because my area is small, the pressure in this case is more. But if I have this as my hand and this as say having more area, or the finger with which I am applying the force, then because it has more area, the pressure in this case will be less. So So the pressure is nothing but force by area, and generally it is measured by newtons per meter square or newtons per centimeter square. The units of force is newtons and the units of area is meter square or centimeter square. Either of them we can take. So this is a brief introduction of the compound measures which we'll be seeing. Let's do some problems on this. Okay, so the first one is related to the speed. A car is traveling at 36 kilometers per hour. What is its speed in meters per second? Okay, so basically he has given us the speed of the car as 36. Okay, let me write. Speed is equal to 36 kilometers per hour. And he's asking us to convert this into meters per second. So again, it's the same thing. So 36 kilometers by 1 hour. So this 36 kilometer per hour is basically the car is traveling 36 kilometers in 1 hour. I can write like this. So 36 kilometers, if I want to convert into meters, so this will be 10 power 3 meters, because we know that 1 kilometer is equal to 10 power 3 meters. So 36 kilometers will be 36 multiplied with 10 power 3 meters, and hour I'll have to convert into seconds. So I know 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes and 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. So 60 minutes will be equal to 60 multiplied with 60 seconds. So this will be 60 multiplied with 60 seconds. Okay, so this is how I have converted the kilometer per hour into meter per second. Now just go ahead solving it. This will be 10, this will go with 6, this 6 will go with this, and then I'll have 10 power 3 by 10 square meter per second, which is nothing but 10 meter per second. So this is how we convert kilometer per hour into meter per second. Yes. Okay. So here we have our next question. Car travels 35 miles in 45 minutes, then 65 kilometers in 1.5 hours. What is his average speed for the total journey in kilometers per hour? So Carl is a person. Okay, so first of all, his okay, so this is my origin, or this is the place from where he's originating his journey, starting his journey. So he's traveling 35 miles. And what is the time? 45 minutes. Okay. And then he's traveling 65 kilometers in 1.5 hours. Fine. So to find out the average speed is nothing but total distance traveled, total distance by total time. So this is my average speed. So what is the total distance which Carl is traveling? So first of all, he's traveling 35 miles and then he's traveling 65 kilometers. So basically we have to convert, because he's asking in kilometers per hour, we have to convert this miles into kilometers. So he has given that 5 miles, okay, let's write it, 5 miles is equal to 8 kilometers. So he is traveling 35 miles. 35 miles is how many kilometers? So let's take it as x. And then we have 5 by 35 is equal to 8 by x. 5 miles by 35 miles is equal to 8 kilometers by x kilometers. This is question mark. This is, don't take it as 2x. So from here, this 5 will go with 35 7 times. And then I will get x is equal to 7 multiplied with 8, that is 56. So basically Carl is traveling 56 kilometers in 45 minutes and then he's traveling 65. Okay, this is 56 kilometers, and then he's traveling 65 kilometers. But here it is in minutes. This minutes I'll have to convert it into hours. So we know that 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. So 45 minutes will be how many hours? So, okay, let's again take it as say x hours. So 1 by x is equal to 60 by 45. So this will give us, okay, let's write it here. This will give us x is equal to 45 by 60, which is 3 by 4. So basically, he's taking 3 by 4 hours. 3 by 4 is nothing but 0.75 hours. Okay, so my average speed, AVJ is average speed, is equal to total distance. Total distance is how much? 56. This is 56. And then this is 65 by 3 by 4 plus 1.5. 1.5 is nothing but 3 by 2 hours. 1.5 can be written as 3 by 2. So let us write in that way. So this is 3 by 2. So this is the speed in kilometers per hour. I think that's what he's asking. Yeah. So find the average speed for the total journey kilometers per hour. So this is what we need. So we just simplify it to get our answer. So 56 plus 65 will give us 11, 1. This will be 121 divided by, this will be 6 by 4. So 9 by 4. So if I take LCM, I'll get 4 and this will be 6. Yeah, so this will be 9 by 4. So this will give us 121 multiplied with 4. So 484 by 9. So you can use calculator or you can directly calculate. Either is fine. So I am first using calculator. So 484 divided by 9 is 53.7. It's given 777. So I'm taking it as 78. And what are the units again? Kilometer per hour. So this is the average speed with which Carl is traveling. So what catch here was basically the miles we had to convert into kilometers. We had already been given the condition that 5 miles is equal to 8 kilometers. So using that particular condition, we had converted that miles. We had converted this miles, 35 miles into kilometers. We got it as 56 kilometers. And then we got the total distance. And then we divided with the total time and we got the average speed. Okay, so we have the next question. The diagram shows a block of wood in the shape of cuboid. Okay, so this is a cuboid of wood. The density of wood. Okay, so now from speed we have come to density, and we know that density is equal to mass by volume. Okay, so this is how density is calculated. So the density of the wood is 0.6 grams per centimeter cube. So density is given as 0.6 grams per centimeter cube, and find out the mass of it. Okay, simple. So basically, okay, first let's find out the volume of this cuboid. So volume will be the length multiplied with width multiplied with height. So this is length, height. This is 12 multiplied with 10 multiplied with 4 centimeter cube. So this will be 480 centimeter cube. So this is my volume. Now he has told that density is equal to 0.6 grams per centimeter cube. We have to be careful about the units. In this case, of course, it's gram per centimeter cube, so it will be fine. But otherwise, if it's in kg per meter cube, then we have to convert the units. So we have 0.6 gram per centimeter cube is equal to mass. What is my mass? Okay, mass is the one which I need to find out by volume. Volume is 480 centimeter cube. So directly I multiply, I get mass is equal to 0.6 multiplied with 480. What will be the units of mass? I will get in grams, because here it's gram per centimeter cube. So that's how I'll be getting the mass in terms of grams. So this will give me 6 8s of 48, 24, 28. So this many grams. So this is the mass of the wood. So basically we use the simple relation, that is density is equal to mass by volume. And because here the units were also given in the same grams and centimeters, centimeter cube. So that's the reason there was no need of conversion. But in case if it would have been given in kg per meter cube, then we need to convert the units accordingly. Okay, fine. So yeah, I think here we'll have to convert the units. So in this question, he says the mass of air in a classroom of dimension 4 meter by 5 meter by 6 meter is 120 kg. Find the density of air in gram per centimeter cube. So we have a classroom which is in the shape of a cuboid. Okay, of course I'm drawing approximate cuboid. So this is 4 meter by 5 meter by 6 meters. Anyway, it could be like any way. So I'm just taking it as 4, 5, 6. So volume. See, again, same thing. We can either convert these meters into centimeters here itself, and then here also the kg into grams beforehand, and then we can get the answer directly in gram per centimeter cube. Or otherwise, we can first of all find out the volume in kg per meter cube, and then we can convert to gram per centimeter cube. So I'm taking the second way, that first I'll be finding the density in gram per centimeter. I'll be finding density in kg per meter cube, because I have been given kg and meters, and then I'll be converting that into gram per centimeter cube. So my volume is 4 meters multiplied with 5 meters multiplied with 6 meters. So this is 30 multiplied with 4. So 120 meter cube. This is my volume. And mass is equal to 120 kg. Oh, it's same. So we have density is equal to mass by volume. So my mass is 120 kg by, very important to write units, otherwise we'll land up in wrong answer. So this is 120 kg by 120 meter cube. So this will give us nothing but 1 kg per meter cube. So that's the density of this particular class air in this classroom. Okay. So now, but we need the density in grams per centimeter cube. So how do we do that? 1 kg per meter cube needs to be converted to gram per centimeter cube. So simple. First of all, let's write it as 1 kg by 1 meter cube. So this will be 10 power, because I have kilo as the prefix. So I can write it as 10 power 3 grams by meters. If I have to convert to centimeters, so I know, okay, first let me write it as 1 meter multiplied with meter multiplied with 1 meter. So this is 10 power 3 grams by 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. 1 meter scale in your home will have 100 centimeters division. So this will be 100 centimeter multiplied with 100 centimeter multiplied with 100 centimeter. So if you go ahead, you will get 10 power 3 gram per, this is 100, 100, 100. So I'll get 10 power 6 centimeter cube. So basically what I have got is 10 power 3 minus 6 gram per centimeter cube. So that is, which is 10 power minus 3 gram per centimeter cube. So the volume of air or the density of air in the classroom in gram per centimeter cube, the density of air is equal to 10 power minus 3 gram per centimeter cube. So this is the density we have found out. So again, same thing, what we have done is, first of all, we have found the density of air in kg per meter cube, kilogram per meter cube, and then we have converted that into gram per centimeter cube by taking, converting the gram, the kilogram into gram, and then we are converting the meter into centimeter. So that's how we got the density in gram per centimeter cube. Okay, so we have discussed about speed, and then we have discussed about density. So now let's see pressure. So pressure, as I mentioned, is nothing but pressure is equal to force by area. Okay, and generally the units are Newton per meter square or Newton per centimeter square. So either of them we can use depending on the question. Okay, the piston of a bicycle pump has an area of 7 centimeters square. A force, okay, here there is a full stop. A force of 189 newtons is applied to the piston. What is the pressure generated? So he's asking us pressure. So let's write down pressure is equal to force by area. Force is 189 newtons by area is 7 centimeters square. So here, if I try to get factors, so this will be 7 ones, and then this will be 2 times and 7 times. So I'll get 27 Newton per centimeter square. It's quite a direct problem. So you just have to multiply it. And of course, if they ask specifically that find the pressure in Newton per meter square, then accordingly you have to convert this centimeter square into meter square and then find the pressure. But here it's not needed because he has not asked that. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, I think here he has asked find the pressure. The pressure, the force of 54 newtons is applied to an area of this many centimeters square. Work out the pressure in Newton per meter square. Simple again. So instead of just hurrying up, if we solve it step by step, then things will become very simple. Yes. So first of all, if we convert the centimeter square into meter square, then directly we can divide and get the answer. Okay. So let's first write down pressure is equal to force by area. So here I can't directly multiply. I can multiply, but I'll get the pressure in terms of Newton per centimeter square, because here area is given in centimeter square. But what I need is in meter square. So first of all, let me write 21600 centimeter square. Let me convert it into meter square. Okay, so 21600, this is centimeter multiplied with centimeter. So 1 centimeter is equal to, because centi is the prefix, so this is 10 power minus 2 meters. So this is 21600 10 power minus 2 meters, and then this is 10 power minus 2 meters. Yes. So this is 21600 multiplied with 10 power minus 4 meters square. So if I take this decimal point inside, I'll get 2.16, because 4 is here, so I'm going 4 units inside. This is meter square. Okay. So this is my area in meter square. So now I can directly get the pressure in Newton per meter square. So I have 54 newtons as force divided by 2.16 meters square. Yes, so this is my force, given force 54 newtons, and this is my area. So this will be 54, this is 1 time, and this will be, I think, 4 times. So 0.04. Yeah. Or you can take it as this way, say if, no, this is 0.54, say 100 times. and this is 4 times. So that way also we can do, anything is fine. So this will be 1 by 0.04 Newton per meter square, which can, let's look a little odd. So let's write it in a decent form. So this will be 1 by 4 by 100 Newton per meter square. So this 100 will go on the top. I'll get 100 by 4 Newton per meter square, or 25 Newton per meter square. So this is my pressure. So the force which was given and the area was given. So this force by area we directly didn't multiply because we wanted the pressure in terms of newtons per meter square. So that's why first of all we have converted the centimeter square or the area in centimeter square to area in meter square. So that's how we have, that's what we have done over here. So this many centimeter square is nothing but 2.14 meter square. So after finding the area in meter square, we have just divided them and then new force by area, and then we have got it as 25 Newton per meter square. Okay, so that's a simple thing which we have discussed in today's session. That is conversion of units of length. So this was like, we have seen how we can convert millimeters to kilometers, or meters to kilometers. Again, as I mentioned, if we are given millimeters to kilometers, so first of all we convert millimeters to meters, and then we convert meters to kilometers. Directly also we can do it, no issues, but it's better if we go to the intermediate step, because this is less than 1, this is more than 1 kilo. When we say kilo, the power we will get is 10 power 3. So it is more. So that's why we have to first convert into meter and then to kilometer. So that will be safe. So that's about length. So it was one dimensional. When we have area, so the area becomes two dimensional. So 1 kilometer square is nothing but 10 power 6 meter square. So because 1 kilometer square, okay, here it's given. So this is 1 kilometer, this is 1 kilometer. So we have converted into corresponding meters. So this is 10 power 3 meters, this is 10 power 3 meters. So that is nothing but 10 power 6 meter square. And then we have converted the units of volume. So 1 meter cube is equal to 10 power 9 millimeter cube. So again here, yeah, 1 meter is equal to 10 power 3 millimeter. Okay, so here it is cube. This is millimeter cube. Yes. So this is 10 power 9 millimeter cube. And next we had discussed the compound measures, that is the speed. Speed was distance by time. It is basically the rate with which the speed, the distance is changing. And usually it is measured in meters per second or kilometers per hour. In fact, I'll tell you one small trick. Now, whenever you have to convert meters per second to kilometers per hour, so suppose in the problem we had 10 meters per second. We had to convert into kilometers per hour. Of course, I think in the problem it was other way around. We were given 36 kilometers per hour. So whenever you have to convert meter per second to kilometer per hour, you multiply with 18 by 5. Okay. So for meters per second to kilometers per hour, you multiply with 18 by 5. So this will give us 36 kilometer per hour. And if you have to convert kilometer per hour to meter per second, then multiply with 5 by 18. Okay, so this will convert the kilometer per hour to meter per second. Of course, you can use this only in some objective type of questions. Don't use in your subjective type of paper, because they'll ask how you got this 18 by 5. Okay, how we are getting this 18 by 5 is, if you recall that we had discussed, kilometer per hour will be, so suppose I have 1 kilometer by 1 hour. So it will be 1000 by 60 multiplied with 60 seconds. This is 1000 meters. So if you cancel out the zeros, then you will be left with, okay, let me take this 5 times, is 3 times. So this is 5 by 18 meter per second. So basically 1 kilometer per hour is 5 by 18 meter per second. So that's how we are getting this 5 by 18 factor. Similarly, if we convert meter per second to kilometer per hour, we will get 18 by 5 factor. So that's how you can directly use it. Otherwise, you can do the whole thing and get the answer. Either of them is fine. So then we understood that density is mass by volume. It is mass of the block per unit volume. That's what is density. So usually it's given in gram per centimeter cube or kg per meter cube. Either of the units is fine depending on the question. And then pressure is by area, usually measured in Newton per centimeter square or Newton per meter square. Another thing, I think it's not mentioned here, we had discussed is 1 centimeter cube is equal to 1 milliliter, or 1 meter cube is equal to 10 power 3 liters. So this is a simple concept about the conversions. So if this much concept is clear for us, then any type of conversion problem we can easily solve. Okay. So thank you so much. I hope you learned something good in today's session. Thanks a lot. Take care.